Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and I am back with my February monthly budget setup. So you can see here I have a little bit of a different setup. In January, I pulled out my Happy Planner and put the numbers down on paper, but this month I decided that I'm going to go ahead and move back into cash stuffing. The numbers will remain the same as my January video, so I will link that video just so you can see that. I'll talk to you about the one update that I made, but the numbers pretty much are exactly the same from January to February. And so since the numbers are the same, what I decided to do was just go ahead and move back into my envelopes. The numbers that I had for January did work, and so I want to be able to continue the system. The benefit to me of using actual cash is being able to see the money decrease over time as I spend. And so I do like cash for that reason. But the problem is I just don't like having that much cash in my house. And so what I do use is prop money. And so this is prop money. It's just meant to be like the visible, tangible version of cash without the risk of like carrying actual real cash in my house. So with that being said then, I have my prop money here. I have my envelopes, the cash envelopes with my like daily, weekly envelopes, as well as my major sinking fund categories. And so we're going to go ahead and update this. I'm going to go ahead and show you this because I did mention that my numbers are staying the same. So these are the numbers that we're going to be counting down. This is from January, but again, the numbers will be mostly the same with just one change. And so for my house category, I have 480, gas is 135, car repairs is 75, health is 50, food is 200, 300 now. I did change that mid-January. Education will be 100, music is 10, and this is the one that I'm deleting, and moving down here to home goods. So the total balance is the same, but now I'm moving the $10 from music into home goods, and home goods will be $25. Again, another mid-January change. And then fun is 200, gifts will be 100, Sophia will be $20, and then travel will be 200. And so that's what we're going to be stuffing today. I did also decide to pull out my money for my bills. And so what you're going to see me count down today is going to be all of those dollar amounts as well as my $580 for my bills. And so the dollar amount here should be $2,285. And I am terrible at counting, so we're going to do our best to count this. And so I'm going to split it up and hopefully be able to do this. And the prop money is a little bit harder to work with too. So anyway, 2,285 is the goal here. So 1,000, 1,000. See, I'm already counting wrong. All right, 100, 200, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1,900 so far. And then this is 2,000. All right, so let me take all the rest of this. I'm going to count it backwards. This is just easier for me. All right, so that was 2,000. 50, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 265, 270, 275, 280, 285. So 2,285. I cannot believe that I counted that correctly. Woo! With, some minor issues. All right, and so I will eventually, I can't decide how I'm going to, do these videos, but for right now, I'm going to use the freebie system, which is just putting my money up here at the top, and hopefully it doesn't fly everywhere. And so you can see I don't have any $1 amounts just because this is prop money, and so I make change kind of as I spend daily, and so that's what we've got there. And so the very first thing I'm going to do, I put my envelopes right here. Let me actually just shift this a little bit. It'll be a little bit easier like this. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to pull out is my $580 for bills. And so that's going to be 100, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50, 70, 80. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 550, 570, 580. All right, and that's money for bills. I do have right around 580 that I spent. Actually, that's way more. I budget way more for bills than I need to, but I do have right around it's 580, right around $600 for bills. All right, and so then the next major category is going to be house repairs. But what goes into house repairs is $480. Now, what I have seen in terms of doing my research on house related stuff is that you should be putting in about 2% of your house, like the total amount of the cost of your house, or whatever your house is appraised for. You should put about 2% in every year for major house repairs. And so that's why I'm putting 480. I did decide mid-January to kind of like reset all of my envelopes. I do have money in savings, but these dollar amounts are basically starting over in January. I do have savings that are just unbudgeted at this point, and so I do have some money in there, but this is just what I started off with the past 2 months, essentially January and February. And so again, this is 480, 1, 2, 3, 400, 450, 470, 480. And then house repairs already had the money from last month, and I ended up using $50 because house repairs right now includes like our services that we pay cash for, so like our exterminator and lawn care, and so I paid $50 to get extermination for our house, and so there was just a little bit less than 480 in there. So the total right now in house repairs is 100, I can't count, right? 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 850, 870, 890, 900, $910. And again, I use prop money just because I feel unsafe with $910 in real money floating in an envelope. So that's the first category. The next one is going to be gas. Gas gets $135 every month, and that's just, I know, kind of a random number, but that's the number that's been working for me. And in fact, I did not spend as much in my gas category in January as I thought I would, so I still have a lot of money left over here. So let's go ahead and, actually I'm going to do it like this, right? And count it up like normal people, right? And we'll count it this way. Okay, so it's 100, 150, 170, 180, 185, 190, 191, 182, 193 in gas. 50, 70, 80, 90, yeah, 193 in gas. And so I had a lot of money left over in January. I'm not quite sure why that is. Oh, I know why. It's because I was sick. So I was in like isolation for 2 weeks. So I didn't drive anywhere for those 2 weeks. So I had a little bit of money left over for that. So the next one is going to be car. This is for everything not gas related. So any kind of fixes that we have for our car, and you know, like tire rotations and that kind of thing. And I did not use any money in this category, so it should be 150 because it was 75 last month and 75 this month. So 50, 100, 120, 140, 145, 150. So that is correct for car. I'll eventually have to get an oil change and all that kind of stuff. So that should happen soon. All right, and then health. Health was one of the categories that I upped in January to $50, and it will be $50 again in February. So it's 50, 70, 90, 91, 92. I purchased some keto strips. That's what I actually purchased in January. So that was the $8. All right, then next is food and dining. Now in January, mid-January, I decided to increase this dollar amount from 200 to 300, just so that way we were making healthier choices and able to afford all of the groceries that we purchase during the month. I do split some of these costs with my husband. So I budget for all of our bills, like the house mortgage and all of those other bills, but we kind of like split groceries. Like he'll spend some of the groceries on his own dime, and like doesn't need me to budget for that. So I really just budget everything that's in our joint account, like all the major bills from our joint account, and then my personal money. So that's what the 300 is for. I honestly actually don't even know how much he spends for groceries every month. Probably more than 300 a month, but I don't actually know. All right, so anyway, what's in food right now is 100, 200, 300, 320, 321, 322, 323, 324, 325. And I don't like to cook, and so a lot of that's eating out, but also just things like, you know, buying for like pre-prepared meals, meal kits, that type of thing. And so those are a little bit more expensive just because I am kind of lazy and I just don't like to buy those things. All right, then for education gets $100, and so that will be that 100. And I did spend for Sophia's ballet. She pays a monthly fee for her lessons, and so I'll basically be pulling this money out pretty much right away. So anyway, it's 100, 120, 140, 141, 142, 143. And I did decide I was saving up some money for like paying some professional fees, but I talked to some of my colleagues and they told me like some of the fees that I was paying were probably unnecessary just for like, you know, just it wasn't really necessary to be in as many organizations as I was signed up to be in. And so I ended up letting 2 of my memberships lapse, which saved me like right around like $300. So again, I did roll over all of my budgets and started them back at 0 in January. But I did have a good number, like a good chunk of money saved up in education at the end of the year. And so again, that's all kind of in our unbudgeted savings right now. So we just have a pool of money that is just sitting in our account that we're just not going to use. Okay, so the next category is home. Now home, I did have to change a little bit. So for home, I was budgeting in January $15 initially, and then I decided to go ahead and increase it to $25 a month. And because I was increasing it $10, and I wasn't actually using my music $10 every month, I decided to go ahead and delete music and add the $10 for the music category into the home goods category to make this category $25 each month. And so it's gonna now get $25. And then my music, my sheet music, will just come out of my personal spending account. So I'm gonna put $25 in here. I really want to update my house and kind of, buy things to freshen up the house and just make things a little bit more organized, especially as I'm decluttering. I notice things that I feel like I need to buy that will just make our life a little bit easier. So that's what I've been using the money for. And so it was like dish towels and like these little things that I could put on like oil and vinegar bottles just to it was like a stopper to pour out the bottles. And, just those 2 items in and of themselves was like right at around $25. So anyway, I just wanted to be able to focus on my home. I think, if you've watched previous videos, you know that focusing on my home and putting the time into upgrading and keeping it neat and clean and being a little bit more domestic is a goal of mine in 2022. So I want to put my money where my mouth is, essentially. All right, so this home goods category is $20, $25, $26, $27, $28 now. And you can see, at this point, you've noticed it at this point, but from January into February, I basically roll over every single amount, regardless of whether it's a weekly fund or not. I don't do anything with the extra money. I do adjust my budgets up and down as I need to across the year, but I don't bother with resetting every single category to 0 at the end of each month, just because, I don't need really the extra money to go into savings. I do have savings already set up. So that's just something that I'll just put out there. I've mentioned a couple of times that in January, at the beginning of January, I did reset all of my dollar amounts. And so that's the one time where I'll reset everything. And that's going from year to year. So fun gets $200, which I just put in there. So fun is my personal spending. It's going to include my music now, but also just planner supplies, which is what this little tab guy says, but just general shopping for me, clothes, whatever I want to buy. This is my allowance essentially. So it's $200. So it's 100, 200, 300, 350, 355, 356 in there. That's actually a lot of money. I'm super excited about that. Then the next one is gifts. Gifts gets $100 every month. And this is just for birthdays, holidays. It will be for Christmas. And so I just like to save starting in January all the way through until December. And I will spend money from here and then put money in there. And it just builds up because I don't spend as much from this category for the major holidays. It's mostly just birthdays and Christmas. So in gifts right now, we have 100, 120, 140, 160, 180. I did spend $20 for a birthday, Sophia's birthday actually. And so there was $20 taken out of that in January. All right, so Sophia gets $20 every month as an allowance from me. And this comes from my personal money. And so she actually also had a birthday in January, so she ended up getting a bunch of money from her family just to have money to spend, and so she has a lot of money. So this also I didn't reset. I like her to have her money, but so she rolled over from 2021 into 2022 about $25, and then she got $40 from birthdays, but she spent some money too. So what she has now for February is $50, $70, $75. That's a lot of money for a 5-year-old. So I'm trying to teach her to be responsible. One of the things that I have been considering for Sophia is converting this into real $1 bills and having 75 $1 bills, but $75 in $1 bills is a lot, I think, anyway. And then last category, travel. So this is just for vacation. I do like to build up this category just for things like saving for trips and paying for actual vacations, but also for the spending money that we have during vacations. So like anything like food wise that I buy on vacation, or like any tolls or gas and that kind of thing, anything vacation related, I will use this money for. So $200 was put in there, and I have 100, 200, 300, 320, 340 for a decent vacation. And then now I have $20, and I have no idea where this $20 belongs. All of my categories are correct. So one of the benefits of prop money is, that I don't have to figure it out, but I have no idea why I have an extra $20 here. So I'm going to put this back in. It should be $2,265 then if I'm subtracting these $20 from the total amount. So I have stuffed $2,265 instead of $2,285. And so I don't know where this money is for. Again, like I have money in savings, and so it's not like I need to designate this to go all right, I don't know where this money belongs. Maybe I'll be able to figure it out, maybe not. But again, I am terrible at counting. All right, so this money will just be set to the side, and we will just go from there. Okay, so these are my envelopes for the month. This is so backwards. I just noticed that. That's probably why I had such problems counting this stash right here. Okay, and so I am ready to go for the month of February. I'm super excited about getting into this and cash stuffing my envelopes. And again, it's prop money. I just like to be able to see the money kind of come up and go down as I spend, just because I sometimes like lose track of that, especially with like more automatic purchases, like things from Amazon, that kind of thing. I was really good in 2021 about not spending on Amazon, but now that I'm getting back into spending more on Amazon, ordering things online, I want to be able to track it a little bit better. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, and until the next video, bye guys.